The Blast from Our Past Network.
Hey everybody, it's me, Corey.
And Zach.
We wanted to tell you all about our exclusive Patreon tier called A Tour de Force, where each season we go through a different auteur's complete filmography in order from beginning to end.
If you sign up now for just $5 a month, you unlock our complete back catalog for John Carpenter, Don Coscarelli, and William Lustig. That's over 50 episodes.
And we are currently going through Larry Cohen's filmography, so you'll get all those episodes as well.
Thank you to everyone that supports Podcasting After Dark on Patreon.
You keep the show going. And as always,
we'll catch you on the dark side.
Lock your doors, close your windows, turn out your lights, for chills and thrills await you. It's time for Podcasting After Dark with your hosts, Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer. Stay with a friend, say your prayers as grisly ghouls close in to seal your doom. Tonight's episode, Deathstalker, starring Daniel Bernhardt, Patton Oswalt, and Paul Lazenby.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Podcasting After Dark. I'm one half of the pad team, Corey, a.k.a. Sleazy C. Joined with me, as always, is my brother from another mother, Zach the Total Snack and Schaefer. And this is a movie, Zach, that we have been dying to cover ever since it got first announced that it was being made. We're talking about Steven Kostanski's remake of Deathstalker. Came out in 2025. Woo, buddy. Man.
Did I do that?
Did I do that? Oh, boy.
I mean, if for those that have never heard our show before, and maybe this is the first time you're checking us out because you're like, oh, I love Deathstalker. It's a new movie. I love Steven Kostanski. I love Daniel Bernhardt. I want to check this out. Here's the deal. Corey and I have been D&D, sword and sorcery, comic book nerd type people since we were little kids. And so for a movie like this to finally come out and envision everything we've ever wanted in a sword and sorcery flick, well, sans a few things, I'm sure, from Corey's perspective.
They don't call me Sleazy C for nothing.
This is true. This is one of those movies that checks off every single one of those boxes. So spoiler, there's not going to be a negative thing said in this episode. So if you're looking for clickbait and oh, what the hell did they do that for? Go listen to that podcast because this isn't going to be that podcast, guys.
Yeah, so guys and gals, you can go back and listen to our original Deathstalker review. I think it came out in 1983, I believe.
Yeah.
We covered that a couple years ago. And, it's fun and all. It's a cult classic and everything. Leading up to our review of this, Zach, I rewatched that. And then I watched for the very first time Deathstalker 2, 1985. And I was surprised, or maybe it was 87, I can't remember. But I was surprised at how much more I enjoyed Deathstalker 2 than I did Deathstalker 1. And I think a lot of it has to do with John Turleski as Deathstalker. He's so much fun. He's so fantastic. And Monique Gabriel is just so cute in it and everything. And the humor is there. But Daniel Bernhardt is my Deathstalker. He is and this is going to, like with the movie, this version of Deathstalker is the best version of Deathstalker. It's the story is so much more concise. It's so much more, point A to point B. The other two Deathstalker movies, like story-wise, kind of weird. They kind of jump all over the place. This one, you can tell Steven Kostanski knew where it was going. Daniel Bernhardt, he does a great job of sort of invoking John Turleski's version. He's a bit more tongue-in-cheek, a bit more fun with it than the original guy. But this one, through and through, is everything I freaking wanted from this movie, and I can't wait to talk about it. But yeah, right out of the gate, guys and gals, I fucking love this movie so much.
Yeah, little cheap plug. My son Bodie whistles the theme song on a daily basis, and I'll talk in a minute why that's the case. But I agree with you. The first Deathstalker, because there's 4 or something like that?
Yeah, there's 4, yeah.
Yeah, and our mutual friend and fellow night boy Paul London, professional wrestler and co-host of Territory Marks, the show I do on $2 late fee, he is a huge fan of Deathstalker Part 2 and says the same thing, that Deathstalker Part 2 is the more refined version. It's kind of like Puppet Master 3 is, like, in my opinion, the best of the Puppet Master series. It's the third one, you know, and it's not always the case with every kind of low rent or low budget sequel, but there oftentimes the sequel to low budget movies tends to be better because it's almost like they got a little bit more funding and they got the bolts tightened a little bit more when the sequel comes out. But let's, you know, the whole deal with sword and sorcery movies in the 80s, which obviously this is an homage to and a remake of the original somewhat. Sword and sorcery movies were never like epic. You know what I mean? They were never perfect. There's no such thing as perfect when it comes to a sword and sorcerer movie, in my opinion. I know Robert Ortiz, who is a patron of ours and a friend of ours, and at the highest tier of our Patreon service. And if you want to subscribe to Patreon, go to patreon.com/podcastingafterdark. Sign up today to support the show and be a part of the fun, because Rob, as a highest tier on our Patreon, suggested Excalibur,
and Lady Hawk too,
and Lady Hawk, both sword and sorcery movies. And while I love both of those, they're not perfect films. You know, they miss a beat in some way, and most do. Beastmaster. And I know there's a lot of people that love Beastmaster. Look, I'm not a fan. We talked about...
Yeah, neither of us are fans.
Go listen to that review.
We reviewed that on our Patreon show, the Coscarelli Factor, which is underneath of the Auteur de Force tier. And neither of us are fans of Beastmaster.
No, but we are but I love me a good Lee Horsley, sword and sorcerer movie. And I love so many great sword and sorcery movies from the 80s and early 90s. But Deathstalker, this one, 2025, it literally is what I hoped a sword and sorcery movie would be like nowadays. It's a mature version of He-Man is what it is.
So, yeah, you and I have talked about this offline, but after the first time I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this is a very hard R version of He-Man. Like, Abraxon is Eternia with its weeping woods and dead swamp. Doodad is Orko with his, goofy mist magic where he shoots fireballs and misses. Necromemnon is Skeletor. Brisbane is Tila. And the Stone Giant's got shades of Manny faces.
Oh my God, totally. If Steven, I know you're listening to this, and we've had Steven Kostanski on the show, by the way, cheap plug. We interviewed Steven Kostanski during the pandemic to talk about Psycho Gorman, which hadn't even come out yet. It was supposed to be at South by Southwest and Film Festival, and it got delayed because of the pandemic. And we were already hyping it up because we knew it was going to be good. And we talked to him about The Void and, all his Manborg and all his other movies he made. And we knew Psycho Gorman was going to be good. And then Psycho Gorman came out, and we covered that movie as well, which we absolutely love.
I love that movie too.
And thought there's nothing that's going to top this. And then we heard down the pipe that this movie, Deathstalker, was coming out. And we were like, yeah, we definitely got to do this movie. But yeah, Steven had to be influenced by Manny Faces.
And it's also such a practical effects extravaganza. And Steven Kostanski has a background in that as well. And I think that shows here. And obviously there's some optical effects in it as well. But this movie has just, it vibes. It's got an old school vibe with modern aesthetics. And, guys and gals, we are going to get into all the things we love and all this kind of stuff. We are going to try to keep it a bit spoiler free because it just hit on Shudder, I think last week or the week before that. So it's going to find a whole new group of audience and everything. And we don't want to give everything away. So guys and gals, you can feel free knowing that we're not going to spoil a ton of stuff in this review. We are just going to talk about pretty much how much we love this fucking movie. Dude, Zach, I want a 2D brawler video game version of Deathstalker like Golden Axe or something, dude. So bad.
I want that. I want the action figures. I want the play sets. Let's see, what else do I want? I want the cosplay costumes. I want all that stuff. I want it all because here's the thing, I saw Deathstalker back in October, I believe it was, of 2025 at the Aero Theater here in Santa Monica. It was the world premiere, at least I think on the West Coast, of Deathstalker. And the composers were there.
Oh, cool.
Blitz,
I actually
Berlin.
really like the music in this.
Yeah, me too. I actually like it. I like the score more than I like the actual song that plays at the end, but I love the song too, but I love the score. The score is epic by Blitz Berlin. They were there to, introduce the movie, and I was there with my buddy Paul London, and we were like high-fiving each other in the movie theater, and we walked out like basically hugging each other because we loved it so much. And I didn't want to spoil it for Corey because I knew it was coming out like down the pipe on Blu-ray. And we are huge physical media people, so we were like, wait till the Blu-ray comes out. And our buddy Lee Germani, the three of us were like, we're buying it from Raven's Banner, which you should all do that, by the way. If you go to Raven's Banner and buy like the special edition that just came out. And there's a Shout version coming out with like Deathstalker, the original Deathstalker, Deathstalker 2, and then this version.
Yeah, that's a 4K, and I think apparently Stephen Kostanski's doing an audio commentary track for Deathstalker 1 and Deathstalker 2, so I already have my pre-order in for that one.
Well, I guess I don't double dip anymore. So again, this is like, Stephen, the fact that I'm double dipping says a lot about your movie. But we saw it, I saw it then. And then my son being 11 now, I was like, you're ready to watch Deathstalker because, spoiler, there's nothing objectionable or like sexy or nothing really. There is a naked tree lady, but that's a whole other story. We'll get to that later. Showed it to Bodhi while Femme French, my wife, was out of town. And thank God she was, because I don't think actually
would not have liked that.
Get to that in a minute. Bodhi loved it. I watched it with Bodhi. He thought it was amazing. We watched it again, and this time Mommy was in town, and we watched it with her, and she actually sat through the whole thing and didn't have a negative thing to say.
Wow, that's impressive from someone who does not like horror movies or gore or violence. Yeah, dude, I didn't get a chance to see this in the theater because I live in Eugene, Oregon, guys and gals. I used to live in LA. Used to live near Zach, but I ran away and I moved up here to Oregon, where it's much cheaper to live, and the pacing of life is so much slower. But
trust me, it sucks down here, but you just got to find your silver linings, and that was one of them.
I would have loved to have seen it with you, and I was very bummed that I didn't get to see it in the theater. But yeah, I did pick up the Blu-ray as soon as it came out, and as soon as it arrived at my doorsteps, I got drunk and high that night, and I watched it, and I was high-fiving myself. This movie is... Guys and gals, we're not getting paid for any of this, by the way, but this movie was fun. It's just fun from beginning to end. And, I will say my only gripe, and it doesn't knock it down at all, but my only gripe is, the first two movies are so sleazy. I wish that there was just a smidge of sleaze in this, and then the only thing I don't like about the first movie is kind of rapey, but the second one is not as rapey, but it is like I would have liked to have had like a little bit of nudity in here, but I get it. This is not, we do not live in horny times, guys and gals. These are not horny times anymore.
We're just trying to get through these.
We're just trying to survive. But so other than that, this movie I was blown away by how fun this was. And pacing wise, Zach, you and I talk a lot about how, pacing, perfect pacing is like at an hour and 30 minutes. Dude, rewatching Deathstalker 2, having it be like an hour and 17 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much. But this is an hour and 40 minutes. And guess what? I could have taken another 20 minutes of it. Like, Stephen Kostanski does such a good job pacing this film. Our trio, our team of people go from like one fun set piece to another that I just want more of the world fleshed out. Because also too, like, unlike the first two Deathstalkers that I watched, the originals from the 80s, like, this feels... Abraxan feels like an actual alien planet, and the originals were a little confused as to where they took place. The first movie seems like it might not have been Earth. The second movie definitely made a lot of Earth references. I like that this was a planet with like 3 moons. There is no question that this is not Earth. And again, this is why this is like a rated R He-Man movie, because it's Eternia, man. Dude, one of my favorite parts of the entire movie is when Brisbane and Deathstalker are just walking and talking, and there are 2 like mountain giants fighting off in the distance. Like we're talking like, you know, like we're talking like thousands of miles away. You can barely see them, but they're back there fighting. And I'm like, this is Eternia. This is a magical world that I just want to know more about. I want sequels. I want comic books. And I know there is a comic book, but I want more from this world.
You know, I just have to say it before I lose the thought is that when Bodhi was watching this, the three moons that you pointed out, when it, like the crescents, the three crescents, he was like, oh, that's the symbol of the Yiga clan or something like that from Breath of the Wild, something in regards to Legend of Zelda, which made him love it even more. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm sure someone, maybe Stephen Kostanski, who wrote the script as well as directed, is probably very familiar with Breath of the Wild and Legend of Zelda and all that folklore. Because yeah, it's this world is infinite. Again, when we talk about the video game, you know, the graphic novel that hopefully should come out at some point, there's got to be a graphic novel version of this or a comic book version of Deathstalker. Sold. Give it to me because I'll buy it.
Same, bro. Same. Well, let's get into the cast and crew of this. Obviously, we're talking about Stephen Kostanski a lot. We've been talking about him a lot, but we're fans. We're fans of his, and you know, I gotta say, I'm looking through the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, you know, we were talking about new movies versus old movies, and I was looking at my Blu-ray collection, and it is like 99% movies from the 80s. You know, that's my Blu-ray collection. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, but my new favorite stuff is pretty much anything Stephen Kostanski puts out. Psycho Goreman, The Void. The Void is my favorite my favorite movie based on H.P. Lovecraft that is not based on H.P. Lovecraft.
Right.
And now Deathstalker. Like I love this dude's aesthetic. I love this dude's style, you know, and everything he sort of puts out. Obviously, Zach mentioned that we interviewed him. We also reviewed The Void, and we also reviewed Psycho Goreman. So, Zach, per Lee Germaini's suggestion, I got this for you. Fuck, marry, kill of the movies that we've reviewed of Stephen Kostanski's. And yes, we know that The Void is a dual directorial with Gillespie, but let's throw it in there. Fuck, marry, kill, The Void, Psycho Goreman, and Deathstalker. I know this is going to be hard, and it's not any kind of condemnation on the kill, but we have to do it. So fuck, marry, kill, The Void, Psycho Goreman, and Deathstalker. Go. I
mean, simply because, okay, well, I'm going to go with kill first, The Void, and just for rewatchability, out of the three, I would not rewatch that as many times as I would watch the other two. And this is really the hard part. Psycho Goreman and Deathstalker. Like, which one do I marry and which one do I F? I guess I have to F Psycho Goreman because it's hunky, and then I marry Deathstalker. I mean, I've equally watched both of them multiple times. Yeah. It's not like I just watched one once and then that was it. Psycho Goreman is like one of my birthday movies I watch on my birthday. I watch Mac and Me and I watch Psycho Goreman. Those are like the movies when you have a bunch of people around and you go and they say, what's the movie you want to watch that's really cheesy or over the top? Oh, Psycho Goreman and Mac and Me. But those are like my birthday movies. So, oh man. But would Deathstalker be one that I watch more than Psycho Goreman? Probably.
Because Bodhi can watch it.
But he can watch. I'm going to show him Psycho Goreman soon.
Okay.
Because he's ready to see that. He watched Highlander. Spoiler, if you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/podcasting after dark, you can hear the recap of, on our wrap up after dark, me talking about Bodhi's experience watching Highlander.
Watching the director's cut of Highlander with the extended sex scene that Zach was not aware of.
I was not aware of. That was really awkward. Anyways, but Psycho Goreman doesn't have any of that either. Like, by the way, it's like Astron 6, you know, you bring up the movies of Stephen Kostanski. It's Astron 6 as well, like all those movies. The Editor, which is amazing as well.
Yeah.
Divorced Dad, which I love. But, okay, oh, God. Yeah, F, Psycho Goreman, marry Deathstalker. Really? Do I, though? Oh,
my God, never thought this would be this hard.
This is really hard. Sophie's choice. How about you? I guess I got to lock in on F, Psycho Goreman, marry Deathstalker, but I think I'm making a bad choice. I don't know. How about you?
Fuck, marry, kill for me. It's funny. I would actually marry The Void. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's a movie.
Wow.
It's a movie that I love more and more every time I watch it. It's right up my alley. So that makes this so much harder for me. Fuck or kill Psycho Gorman or Deathstalker.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to say fuck Deathstalker, because I think you can see his Stephen Kostanski's like his focus, his vision is in everything. Like, so there's so many things I want to see in Psycho Gorman. Like, I wanted to see more of those guys he fights, like his ex-partners or whatever, like I wanted to see more of them, and this, I feel like we get things a bit more spread out instead of like sort of grouped together. But then again, when Psycho Gorman calls the dad on the toilet is just one of the greatest scenes.
It's amazing.
It's one of the greatest scenes that's ever happened in life. But yeah, anyways, I would have to kill Psycho Gorman and fuck Deathstalker. But again, that's not any kind of condemnation on Psycho Gorman, because I absolutely adore that movie as well. But for me, The Void, I freaking love The Void. It's perfect for me. Like, it's one of those movies that's definitely like a Corey movie, and it's definitely right up my alley. I like the vibe of it. I like how big the concepts are, even though it's a low budget film, and it ends so strong. It's such a strong ending.
Okay, well, listeners and watchers, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, give us yours.
Yeah, let us know what your F, marry, kill is in the comments, wherever you're watching or listening to this. And also, too, it just kind of dawned on me, this to me is like what I loved about Full Moon in the 80s and early 90s, before they tapped out and got really kind of just bad. They were putting out movies like this, that were just had great, cool special effects, practical effects, good actors in it, and tight stories. So it feels like a throwback for sure. And I think that's another reason why I love this movie so much, because it reminds me of those good old days of renting a Full Moon movie from the video store and knowing I was going to be entertained no matter what it was.
Yeah, no, totally. He Stephen Kostanski is the closest thing we got to because I know Richard Band is still around and everything, but like I don't love Full Moon movies as much now as I did.
They're not the
back
same.
then.
It's not the same anymore. It's Roger Corman, the early Roger Corman, like 80s Roger Corman. It's 80s Full Moon. It's Empire Pictures, like this is what that reminds me of.
Yeah. And again, we've said Stephen Kostanski's name like 100 times so far. There's no paid promotion here, nothing at all, other than the unbridled enthusiasm that I have for his movies. And go back and listen to the Void episode. Go back and listen to Psycho Gorman, and go back and listen to our interview. We love this dude. We absolutely love this dude. And also the composer, Zach, I want to talk about Blitz Berlin, because they were the composer of The Void as well.
Yeah, I mean, another killer soundtrack. Psycho Gorman has a great soundtrack too, but that's a whole other story. They're great.
And also, too, a movie that this might be a bit divisive, but they composed the new Silent Night, Deadly Night 2025 remake that my wife and I very much enjoyed. Go and listen to my little mini review of that I did around Christmas time this year. But they are also the composers of Queens of the Dead, the zombie movie that stars by my lesbian crush, Katie O'Brien, but it's by Tina Ramiro, daughter of George Ramiro. And it's a movie that I'm dying to watch, and whenever I can find it on Blu-ray or whatever, we'll have Luna on for that one. So yeah, Blitz Berlin, like, Zach, you know me, and all of our old school listeners know me. I don't notice music as much in movies. You are much more musically inclined than I am. My God, you have a band called Sure Dude. Go check them out.
Oh, thanks.
And I've seen you guys play live with Jill Scholen. It was amazing. But like, I don't notice music in movies, but I did for this. I enjoyed the epicness of it. Like, I think it's at the beginning when he's kind of like right after he gets the medallion and he's kind of riding his horse. Like, I was like,
oh, yeah,
this music is very, very epic. And then the very first time we see Necro Minman, let's try to say that 5 times fast. The score is very, like, the audio cue is very Emperor from like Star Wars Return of the Jedi. It's got that like choral thing going on and everything.
What does it have?
Like, that kind of stuff.
No, I didn't get that. Can you do it one more time? What was that?
That's
Oh,
also
okay. Now I got it.
That's also my sex noises too. But
wow, this is
but
way too much information.
But dude, I noticed the music in this movie, man.
How do you expect me to follow that after you drop that?
You're supposed to say, "Good job, Corey. I'm proud of you." That's what
proud
I'm
of
looking
you.
for.
Well, I was gonna say, like, again, not to compare it to He-Man, but to compare it to He-Man, like it has that kind of vibe to it as well. To me, this movie has to have a score that is not just a cheese ball Casio keyboard, or whatever people use nowadays. The thing with all the big giant buttons that change colors when you push them. It's got to feel like orchestral. So one of the reasons why my son loved this movie so much is because the music felt of its time. It did not feel like, again, Slash, and we'll get to the song at the end, Bear McCreary, et cetera, do a really cool Deathstalker song at the end of this movie that reminds me of the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Chris Pine. Tame Impala did the song at the end of that movie, which is a really badass song, by the way. But the rest of the movie fits the time. It's what do you call it? Renaissance theater, Renaissance pleasure fair type music. It's got to have that vibe. If that's what this is a sword and sorcery movie. You can't just go in with like a hard rock soundtrack. And there are some moments where that does come up. And I will say, this will be my little drop of negativity that takes me out of it a little bit, just a little bit, when there's a little bit heavy guitar, But that being said, overall, the score is fantastic. I think Bodhi loved it because it reminded him again of like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and stuff like that.
Well, Bodhi also loves He-Man too. You raised him right on that.
I mean, like you can't go wrong with that music. And yeah, Blitz Berlin, the score is great. I haven't seen Silent Night, Deadly Night, but I love what they did in The Void.
Okay. Yep. And I can't wait for Queens of the Dead. So, all right. You want to talk about the awesome cast? It's not a huge cast, but who we have is a lot of fun.
Daniel Bernhardt, he's an epic action martial artist who has been in modern stuff like the John Wick series. But he dates back all the way to video store days. I saw him when he was like a wee young lad in Bloodsport Part 2. And I remember when he was in Bloodsport 2 and 3, and he was so good in that. And I've seen him in everything. I was watching like a Hunger Games movie not that long ago, and he popped up as one of the characters in that. I'm like, oh, it's Daniel Bernhardt. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like over 125, credits to his name. It's pretty impressive, though. I think this is probably his, biggest lead acting role that he's had.
Yeah, and for everyone, if there's anyone listening to this who has any say in what is or isn't made, I feel the same way about Scott Adkins. Like, these guys should be leading men on the big screen
not just stuntmen,
No, not stuntmen, and not just VOD movies, like big screen movies. Can we please bring back that era of the action star again? Like, it didn't die. It didn't have to die with Jean-Claude and Steven Seagal and those dudes. Like, bring it back. He's got more charisma in his pinky than so many other dudes do. And he's so cool. I love the dude. Daniel Bernhardt is amazing. So I remember when he was cast as Deathstalker, I was like, whoa, that is so rad.
Yeah. And we pretty much expected him to be able to do the action stuff. But like I said earlier, Deathstalker 2, John Terlesky, his charm and sort of boyish, charm in that. And he always does everything with a little bit of a smirk on his face. I definitely can see Daniel Bernhardt being the same version of Deathstalker, just sort of older. This is a remake, but is it though? I mean, the other two movies could all just be tales of Deathstalker, but I think this movie is much more aligned with the portrayal of Deathstalker 2, John Terlesky's portrayal in Deathstalker 2. I think these two are much more aligned than part 1 is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like that idea. I like that not that I want to see a different person playing Deathstalker for the sequel, which I hope there will be, because I want to see Daniel Bernhardt again playing Deathstalker, but I like the idea of the Deathstalker moniker, being given to other people who basically do what Deathstalker does, where they're named one thing and they become...
Oh, so you're saying that you think that even like maybe the guy in the first movie is not even the same human being as Daniel Bernhardt is or John Terlesky. Like it's a mantle, like the Dread Pirate Roberts or whatever.
Right.
Exactly. Oh, interesting. That's not what I was saying, but that's interesting though.
Well, it is what you're saying because I just gaslit you. I finally know what that means.
Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
That's what I can do now because I know the definition. I also know the definition of a meet cute, which does this movie have one? We'll find out later.
Yeah, it does. It has multiple meet cutes, actually.
It kind of does, actually. Patton Oswalt. Y'all know who Patton Oswalt is. I mean, he's awesome.
Patton Oswalt. He's Patton Oswalt.
He's the voice of Doodad.
Yes.
But we'll get to the body in a minute.
Laurie Field plays the body of Doodad, and she's great. She's actually only done this movie and one other one called The Whipping Boy. She plays Aunt Jo in that, but I hope she gets more work in the future because she's a lot of fun in this. And but yeah, Pat Oswalt's the voice, she's the body. Kind of like how in the Toxic Avenger remake that we reviewed with Tim and Dean over at Talking Back, it's a duo here to create this character.
Right.
What did you think of the character Doodad? Remember in the first movie, there was that little guy, was sort of trollish, but he gets turned human, the little sidekick guy gets turned human pretty much right away. Here, they stay as a sort of a troll creature the whole time. What did you think of the character of Doodad in this?
Yeah, it's Orko. It literally is Orko, and which down to like mistake magic, making the wrong magical moves. I love that. If Doodad was floating, well, there is a floating character in this, but we'll get to that later. That would be even better.
There is. I love that character. I love the Wraith. It's so great.
Anyways, Doodad is great. I love Doodad. I could watch a movie about Doodad the whole time. But Doodad also has compassion too. Like it's not just a comic relief character. There's actually
there's actually character there. Yeah, there's actually character.
I was really surprised by Christina Orjalo. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She plays Brisbane. I was expecting to not like her at first because I was like, oh, great, here we go. It's going to be the romantic character where there's going to be, a forced chemistry between her and Deathstalker.
Or she's going to be like sort of overly annoying and kind of like incapable of doing things. I'm with you, because you don't meet her right away. And so far, like, Doodad isn't annoying. So I'm like, okay, so if Doodad's not annoying, this character probably will be. She's like maybe rambunctious or just, Honestly, I was very much surprised by how much I enjoyed Brisbane's character in this movie. Like I said, she's capable. That's one thing that I thought was freaking awesome. She's like this up-and-coming thief, and she has like no problem. She can fucking fight and everything like that. I thought she was really fucking cool.
Yeah, she reminded me a little bit of, and I know I said it earlier, in Dungeons and Dragons. What's her name? Rodriguez, from the...
Oh, Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah,
I never saw that movie, though.
Oh, dude, you should see the Dungeons and Dragons. It's really good.
Well, yeah, because we talked about it with Jennifer Aspinall, who did some makeup effects.
Oh, yeah,
in that.
That's right. Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of that character. Thank God it doesn't. Initially, she started reminding me of I'm like, please don't be like the Molly Ringwald character in Space Hunter, who was so annoying. That movie with Peter Strauss, the 3D movie. We haven't talked about that movie that much yet, but we will down the road.
We're never going to talk about Metal Storm.
No, but but Molly Ringwald kind of ruins Space Hunter in a way. Kelly Preston did not ruin Metal Storm.
Metal Storm ruined Metal
Storm. Jinx 1 2 3 you owe me a Coke. But yeah, no, Christina is really good. Yeah, they kind of tease her in the beginning where they show her in the tavern.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool. I thought that was really neat.
Great way to introduce her. And I think Bodhi was like, oh, great. I was too. I was like, oh, come on. We don't have to go down the typical trope, which is what old school Deathstalker would do, because eventually it would lead to a sus scene, as the kids say. And that isn't the case in this movie, spoiler. And I love her character. There's a little bit of twist, on her morality, if she has some. And I appreciate that too. It's different. But no, she's really good. But she's great. But the dude who kind of surprised me the most is Paul Lazenby, who plays Jotak.
Yeah, dude. He was
this dude,
especially after watching the first two movies, the villain in the first movie is fucking, terrible. Although we will get to a little bit of reference in this, a little homage. But
yes,
he sucks as a villain. And then the second movie's great and all. Like the villain in the second movie is actually pretty good, but he's still he's not scary. But Paul Lazenby's fucking scary, man. He actually does a lot of the mocap in this video game called Gears of War, which is really big on the Xbox. But he did like the mocap for Marcus Phoenix. I think he's like an MMA fighter and whatnot. He's great. Like I'm like, I don't remember this dude like seeing him in other things. I think he was like in Deadpool 2 and whatnot. But like right out of the gate, I was so impressed by Paul Lazenby in this. I was like, can we have more of that guy? Like you said earlier, with like these action guys, give the stunt guys, they're normally doing the stunt stuff, the bad guys, give them a movie, give Daniel Bernhardt and Paul Lazenby like a movie together and kick ass. Or give us a prequel when they're both knights, and they're both kicking ass together, man. Like, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was really, in my opinion, kind of like the sixth man, the guy who comes off the court and you're like, wow, this guy's really the surprise. Because of course the main antagonist is going to be evil and you're going to love everything he does and chew up scenery. But, as Jotak, he's not the main villain, but he's like this, he's basically like
number two. He's a number two villain. He's
Beastman.
He's the henchman. Yeah, he's Beastman.
Yeah, like he's Destro is what he is.
Yeah.
And actually, he could make a pretty cool Destro.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Anyways, he's great in this film. Necromemnon. Nicholas Rice. Where's this guy been all my life?
He's so much fun, dude. And he's like totally doing like a sort of a little bit of a funny emperor thing going on, from Return of the Jedi and everything. But like, it all works. When at the end, oh God, I don't want to give anything away, but at the end, when he sees the Wraith, he goes, "What the fuck is that?" Just the way he nailed that line. And guys, we're not going to talk a lot about the end because I don't want to spoil things. But just the way he fucking landed, "What the fuck is that?" It was so good. It was so good.
I feel like in some ways, because there's an obvious Phantasm 2 reference in this, and in some ways he would, if like the Tall Man was a comedic version, he would be like a funny like comedic version of the Tall Man. Just silly. He's so silly and evil at the same time.
Yeah, and this movie is like a comedy, action, fantasy, and kind of probably in that order. There is a lot of comedy in this, and like Paul Lazenby's character is not so funny. Jotak isn't as funny, so it kind of works that Necromemnon is a little bit more goofy, but at the same time it doesn't neuter his threat either.
No. But someone who's been neutered and threatened is Connor Sweeney, who plays Prince Baldur. This dude is amazing.
I love Prince Baldur, man. I love he's one of those Astron 6 guys, right?
Yeah, he was in Frankie Frico and Divorced Dad and Father's Day. He's so funny.
He's so good.
He reminds me of the king in Hamilton a little bit, and the goofy comic relief of that movie, or of the stage play.
Yeah.
And he's so like, at one point you're like, okay, is this guy of his time? Actually, yeah, because the moment you start to think that, suddenly he does something that brings you right back into thinking, oh no, he's just like a goofy idiot. And it works.
It works. This movie is, all the side characters are so much fun. At that tavern at the beginning, there's that guy. I think he's another Astron 6 dude, but he's not credited, so I don't know his name offhand. But he's hilarious how he's just talking about everything. Food's coming out of his mouth and whatnot. And then like, the the Thieves Guild head, Nina Bergman, who plays Grendel. You know, like, she's great, and the way she gets killed is fantastic. The gore in this movie is awesome. Like, almost every death is like a Mortal Kombat fatality, which is so much fun for me. But all the side characters, dude, all the side characters are just so much fun. And I think that's what I said earlier, you know, kind of illustrates, you know, it has an hour and 40-minute runtime, and, you know, you and I complained. We easily complained a million times over about a movie that goes 10 minutes over, you know, the hour and 30. I wanted more. I wanted more from every bit of this movie. I could have had another 20 minutes, and I would have been so happy with it, because Stephen Kostanski fills every scene with something fun, whether it's a character, whether, you know, like a character acting style, like Prince Baldur, or like at one point when, you know, Deathstalker goes to throw the amulet away into like the bog, there's like a quick, you know, camera dolly that goes past this like little, you know, this little creature, frog creature thing that's like clearly a puppet, you know, and I'm like, dude, that was the kind of shit that I loved in Return of the Jedi back in the day. Little creatures on the side of the screen that you still had to build. You still had to make that little puppet, but it makes these scenes like so interesting. Every single scene has something that's interesting in it, be it an acting choice or some side character or some awesome gore or an awesome creature design. You know, it's just, this movie is chock full of fun.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And just before we move on, or I forget, Matthew Kennedy was the one actor who was in the tavern.
Oh, okay.
He's been in everything, Astron 6 stuff, and of course Adam Brooks, who plays the original knight who gets, you know, thieved by Deathstalker at the beginning of it's in the first 5 minutes, guys, so I'm not spoiling too much. But of course, he's from, you know, the editor and like all the Astron 6 movies as well. So it's got the Astron 6 guys in it who, when they pop up, it's a super highlight because they're so damn funny.
Oh, so freaking good. Yeah, the cast is fantastic, and the behind the scenes crew is fantastic, and that's why this movie's fantastic. I haven't been this excited to review a movie in so long. And, you know, we loved Repo Man. You know, we had fun with Hell Comes to Frogtown and everything. But, like, I was just, like, itching all day long to review this movie. So let's talk about some more stuff that we love. But first, let's play a trailer.
Who is he? They say he was once a knight. Before the war against the Dreadites. Surgeon with a sword. Oh, wow. He answers to only one name.
I? What name would that be? Deathstalker. My old friend. Come and get it. The mighty Deathstalker!
All right, Zach, since we're not going to break it down, and we're not even going to do an abbreviated breakdown because it's new, so I don't want to give too much away, but if you've never seen the movie, I will give a plot summary that does not give anything away. And I wrote this, so I hope you like it. If you'd like to hear it? Here it goes.
Corey wrote this. So, by the way, it's in crayon, and his E's are backwards.
Like Deathstalker's map. Looks like a child made it.
Bad place or something. Yeah.
I love that. Don't go.
Don't go. That's what it was.
So good. All right. Once a noble knight named Tritus, Deathstalker wanders the land in search of treasures and glory. After stealing an amulet off an almost dead prince, he is pursued across the kingdom of Abraxan by Necromemnon's legion of undead warriors and monstrous assassins as he tries to rid himself of the jewel's curse. Thankfully, Deathstalker doesn't have to go it alone, as he's joined by the bumbling magician Doodad and the young thief Brisbane.
Did I do that?
Did I do that? So, I want to kick things off with references to the first two films, see if you've noticed them. So, first, we have the tavern at the beginning of the movie is called Munkar's Tavern. Munkar was the evil magician and the big bad from the original 1983 film. Did you pick up on that?
No.
Okay. This one you probably did pick up on, but Deathstalker fights a pig-headed brute like we see in the first two films.
Oh, I did. And where that film walked, this movie ran and like burst through a wall. It's so much better.
It's everything. It's everything you want.
It's everything. It's everything you want. It's everything you need. It's everything inside of you, but you can't see. You know that? You remember that band? Who's that band?
Of course I do.
What are they? What's the name?
Fuck if I know. Is that Jar of Flies? No, it's not Jar of Flies.
Vertical Horizon. Jar of Flies
I
was
know
a
that
Christian
song.
band. Vertical Horizon. Every time I heard Vertical Horizon, I'm like, is that a reference to a vagina?
Yes, it is.
I think it is. The Man Who Would Be Santa. Anyways.
Oh boy.
Anybody want a Vertical Horizon CD? I got the whole collection. Sorry.
Jesus, you almost killed me.
Vertical Horizon. The 90s.
And then finally, when Doodad is talking about the Talon's prophecy, and during the flashback, we see scenes from the first two movies. We see like the crowd cheering is from the first movie, and then when a bunch of Amazonian women fight a bunch of dudes, that's from the second film.
It is like it is like on Muppet Babies when they cut to a live action scene of a movie and you're like, oh, this is so bad. Like you can tell it's so bad. It's so old. It looks so bad. But then it cuts back to Deathstalker and you're like, oh, thank God we're back to Deathstalker because I don't think I ever want to see that. Just go watch the first one because it's bad, but it's.
Have you ever seen the second one?
I've never seen the second one, but everyone's telling me to
so
watch
good.
It.
It's
I'll watch
so
it.
good.
I'll watch it when the new Shout Factory Steelbook comes out because I'm going to pre-order that as well.
Okay. All right. So,
anyways, Vertical Horizon. No.
Yeah, Vertical Horizon. So Zach, talk about some shit you love about this movie that we haven't talked about yet.
So yeah, what did we not talk about? So
can we talk about Deathstalker's map?
Right. I mean, we can talk about the map, but this movie is inspirational. I think you should show this film to kids, maybe not little kids, but like teenagers who want to get into doing special effects for a living, because this movie reminds you that you can still do practical effects on a low budget, you know, like not just the pig mask that you talked about or the two-headed, orc kind of troll looking dude that he battles at one point, but like the talisman, the little
the amulet,
the amulet that he lifts off of the prince in the beginning of the movie. It's really cool looking. It's intricate, and at the same time too, you're like, you can see like the little circuits or what, not the circuits, but you can see where the LED lights are. I'm like, that's still really badass. It's cool. Like this to me is inspiring for young people to see and go, I can make a movie like this.
Yeah, I think this was kickstarted or got some help.
Indiegogo or something like that.
or something like that. Yeah. Speaking of the amulet, I loved when he tries to throw it away and he keeps coming back. They actually sculpted a different face on it. Like one point, it was smiling when he looks at it, and I was like, that was such a great little gag. It was funny. It's
so subtle, and there are so many moments in this that to me like are under the radar. When he goes to rescue Doodad, those little, very similar to like Tremors type, graboids, they remind me of graboids a little bit, and they're so kind of simple looking, but it's so hilarious.
Especially when they're revealed, like, it's a woman's face coming out of the ground, and he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" You know, like, he's like into it, and then it rips out of that person's face, like that was just someone they had killed or whatever. Like, that was such a little fun little moment and everything. I liked when Jotak gets his arm cut off, and then he gets a new one on, and the new arm, because it's like demonic, it immediately attacks Jotak. It attacks him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he has to learn how to control it and everything. It's like, that's fun. The little bat eyeball thing, you know, like when it gets dispatched, Jotak is like, "Oh, my friend," you know, like he feels bad about it, and he throws it away. But like there's so many moments that I'm like, you didn't have to make that choice, but I'm glad, like, acting wise or directing wise or whatever, but I'm glad that you did. Like, all the choices I feel like are the right ones. Like making Deathstalker's map looks like it was drawn by a child. Like, it's because, like, what kind of education does he have? You know, it's great. But Zach, did you notice, like, you know, unlike the first two movies, we actually get Deathstalker's real name in this one, Tritus.
Yeah. Spoiler. We get that revealed. I mean, look, the original was a vehicle for Barbie Benton, you know, the Playboy model.
Yeah.
So it was definitely marketed on that front. This is marketed as an action movie, so you're going to get more emphasis on the action. And again, I don't want to give too much away, but like the sword in question, the main sword that he uses at the end, that's another like nice homage to the original movie. But the way it's used is different.
Yeah.
The villains are different. The plot is, you know, vastly different.
The sword fighting, again, I've just watched the first two movies. The second one is better than the first one as far as action and sword fighting goes and like choreography goes, but this one is leaps and bounds past the other two. Like the sword fight, especially the one fight between Deathstalker and Jotak, you know, was awesome. I love that sword fight, and the Dreadites look so fucking cool. I love how they come in via like seeds. Like, you throw the seeds down and they blow out of the ground. Like, what a cool way to like teleport and bring people in, and it's used for a very cool dispatching at the end of the film. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. Reminds me a little bit of like Guyver or Ultraman kind of fighting style from, you know, Japanese, like that inspired. But again, they're original looking. The effects, even though they look like giant Twizzlers, basically, with arms and teeth and such. But, you know, I know I keep going back to it, but it's one of those things where like a kid can watch this and get inspired by it. Bodhi was inspired by this movie. He thought it was so rad. And the scene you were talking about in particular about the female reveal, and you're like, oh, is this Deathstalker going to have like a sus scene with this lady in the ground? It gets, you know, Bodhi initially was like, oh God. And then I won't really give up what happens next, but what does happen, Bodhi goes, oh yeah. Like, it was a very much like, yeah, I was hoping that would be the case. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to like be able to watch a kind of an R-rated movie and not have to shield my son's eyes. Yeah. The hacking, people getting hacked up and mutilated, it's all FX. So it's not like, you know, it's not gory in a Saw kind of way. It's gory in like a Monty Python, you know, Peter Jackson Dead Alive kind of way. Yeah.
Definitely more Peter Jackson, definitely like Frighteners vibes and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, dude, it's so much fun. The action, the violence, but also too, a lot of the bigger gore happens to like creatures. So Zach,
yes, totally.
I want to run down all the creatures here that are in the movie, and we can kind of talk where we want to go and about their designs and stuff like that. But I'm gonna rattle them off pretty quickly. But there's a lot, which is really cool. So we have the Dreadites, which is the army, Necromemnon's army. We have a two-headed troll. We have a witch with her head in a box. We have flesh-eating sand serpents. We have stone giant. We have eyeball bat. We have Screaming Wraith, who I love, who becomes an MVP character. We have the Pig-Headed Brute. We have the Hooded Necromancers in the Graveyard. Those guys are freaking very Lovecraftian. We have
big time.
We have the teleporting assassin named Scarabus. We have swamp zombies who have forgotten the comfort of a brotherly hug. And finally, we have Saitor, the film's big bad. Zach, I want to talk about the teleporting assassin Scarabus. He has a really cool, like, it's not an eye, it's like a monocle in the middle of his forehead, and they do some cool stuff with that. But he can teleport, and he's got this like cool blade that's spinning blade that's on a chain that he can, it's almost like Scorpion, from Mortal Kombat.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. And because I know you just watched that with Bodhi a couple months ago. And he has like he has these like contortion moves. So as a character with all these pieces put together, he becomes such a cool like assassin, bounty hunter type of character. Another character that like I want to just know the backstory of. I want a whole comic book dedicated to him. It's what I loved out of Psycho Gorman. Remember like when he fights those like 4 or 5 guys? What were they called?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know what you're saying. It's a similar kind of format where, it's these, I don't want to say Power Ranger-esque, but they remind me of the Power Rangers a little bit.
And in the best way possible. Like,
yeah.
Not as an insult at all. It's people in like rubber suits. It's fantastic. I love it. Again, can't stress that enough. But in Psycho Gorman, you kind of get them all in one go, and they kind of get all dispatched in one go. Here, you kind of nicely get things spread apart the entire movie. You get the 2-headed troll in one scene. You get Scarabus in another scene. You get the swamp zombies doing their thing in another scene. That's what I say when I say this movie's well-paced, because you get all the shit that I loved in Psycho Gorman, but you get it spread out over the course of the whole film.
Well, and I know we keep bringing up Psycho Gorman because we love it so much. That movie's really about his relationship with Mimi, the girl.
Of course. Yes, I get it. Yeah.
And this one is specifically about their relationship. This one is about the journey that Deathstalker goes on. So while that one takes place within the perimeter of the town, this one has to venture out.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense that in that one, Psycho Gorman, he's got to deal with whatever's happening directly in the town. They would all come at you at once. In this one, it's like, next stage.
God,
and
I want a video game so fucking bad.
Yeah, totally. And look, I mean, the swamp creatures, like to go from Scarabus into the swamp creatures, it is so absurd, but like in the best way, like that's a plot point that we won't give up, but it does definitely changes the trajectory of the movie at that point when that all goes down, and the introduction of a character that you would think would be a disposable one and not be vital to the story turns out to be vital to the story and not disposable.
There's 2 MVP monsters in this that are just absolutely fantastic. But Zach, what'd you think of Scarabus? What'd you think of that design and everything?
Yeah, again, I know we keep bringing up He-Man, but
he feels like a He-Man. He-Man,
Deathstalker.
He totally feels like a He-Man villain.
Yeah, it's call him Ninjor or whatever. I don't know, like whatever, like Mumor or something like that.
I mean, Scarabus is a perfect He-Man villain name, dude.
Yeah, he's a He-Man character. So as a He-Man character, you see him with his, you twist his body and he kind of springs.
Yeah.
Like he can have his flying thingy, which, yeah, like you said, is totally Scorpion. I love the character. I'm not going to say what happens to that character, but I will say I want to see more of that character. And will we? Well, I don't know.
Only if there's a prequel.
Oh, He-Man!
I knew you were going to do that.
It was either that or Vertical Horizon, so that'll come back later. Don't worry, everybody.
Zach, the little ones, like, what about the witch with her head in a box? Like, how cool was that?
I'm a witch in a box. Yeah, she's great. She's so attractive too. And like the practical things where Deathstalker has to draw blood and the way it's done is so simple, but it's like it works. There's not one groanable moment in this, for anybody that's expecting you're going to watch this movie and go, oh, this is a B movie. Like, then this isn't the audience that's going to say that. The audience that's going to see this is going to go, oh yeah, like they're in it hook, line, and sinker. There's not one thing that you can poo-poo on this movie. And yeah, witch in the box. Like her movable little, they do a gimmick where certain amulet pieces kind of move on a board, and I'm sure it's like with magnets underneath the table. But I think I'm like, that is so cool. And just someone carved these little pieces that are made in this. Everything is made in this movie. It's not like someone went to Spirit Store and bought a bunch of props and then made a horror film. Like everything's crafted. Stephen Kostanski, there is stop motion animation, by the way, in the end of this movie.
I love it.
There's a documentary on the Blu-ray that shows how he did that. I showed it to Bodhi because it was so fascinating. He did it himself. He made these like little dudes. I'm not going to say what they are because I don't want to give it up, but it's so rad.
Yeah, I think, you've been saying that this like kind of inspires you to want to make movies or show it to a younger person. When I watch this movie, it invokes the feeling that I would have back in the 80s when I was a kid watching sci-fi and horror films, and the reason I went to film school and everything was because of those type of movies. Return of the Jedi was huge for me, and that's all, it's all puppets and marionettes and stuff like that. And I think, Zach, I'm sure you understand this, but like just to kind of tell the people this, it's because this movie has like no CGI. There's some optical effects in it and stuff like that. And there might be a little bit of a CGI here and there, but it's 99% practical. And you just don't see that much anymore. And I think like you said, show it to like a 10 or 12 or 13-year-old kid, and it'll inspire them because it's all things you could figure out how to do. Whereas like with CGI and stuff, it's like, well, I got to have a gazillion-dollar computer in order to do this. And that's never to take away from the fact that CGI artists are artists. I'm never gonna take that away from them. I do believe that there's a time and place for everything in movies, and all the effects and craftsmanship. A lot of work goes into that kind of stuff. But there is something, with the tangible practical effects that just is so just awe-inspiring because it's real. And even like here, like the background stuff, like when they're like I said, the mountain giants fighting, that's cool.
No, it's such a great highlight. Yeah.
There's also like when they're on this edge of this cliff, and it's almost looks like a matte painting, which you just never fucking see anymore. I love fucking matte paintings, but like the landscape has like these giant bones, like they're almost like inside of a giant skeleton. But it's like thousands of miles big is how big the skeleton is. It's just, dude, it's stuff like that would, as a kid, if I saw this at Bodhi's age, this would put me on the path. This is a movie that would put me on the path of going to film school. And I know Bodhi's like artistic and he paints and he sculpts and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if this inspires him to do stuff. But man, we need more like movies with practical effects. And Psycho Goreman has practical effects, and The Void has practical effects. And that's why like this movie feels like a modern 80s film.
It really does.
Minus the racism and misogyny.
Yeah. How awesome is that?
And minus the rape.
Yes. You can like actually make it work in 2026.
Steven, if you make a sequel, can I have just one tit in it? Just one that's not on a monster? That's not on a monster.
No, he gave that to you, and he's going to give you more of that in part 2. Don't keep asking for it. No, you don't need it. You don't need that, though. Just with your mind.
I just want to bring the horny back. I'm bringing horny back.
No. It's everything you want. It's everything you need. Deathstalker is inside of you and you just can't see.
Deathstalker.
Deathstalker. So Deathstalker, by the way, does it was produced by Slash, or executive produced by Slash. Sorry.
Wait, the musician?
Yeah, he's one of the producers.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the executive producers of the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that is phenomenal. And then the Deathstalker song that's at the end of this movie, which is really badass. It's like a throwback to 2000s, early 2000s kind of. I wouldn't say new metal, but it's kind of got a new metal vibe to it. It's Bear McCreary, Brendan McCreary, Chuck Sereno, and Slash. And I mean, it's an epic, D&D battle song.
Why do I know the name Bear McCreary?
Because he's a music composer for, I think a lot of people know him for Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. I swear to God, there was something we reviewed recently that I've listened to that. I'm just pulling him up really quick. Bear McCreary. Oh, he's a composer. He was on composer for Lord of the Rings. Okay, interesting. Foundation, Battlestar Galactica. Okay, cool. Yeah, there was something I was listening to, or we talked about something, but yeah. Oh shit. He also did the music for Masters of the Universe Revolution, the Kevin Smith movie.
Right.
The Kevin Smith Netflix series. Holy shit.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. He's a name that you should know.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that song. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm a new metal fan. I'm a big new metal fan actually. So yeah, I'm down with it, but I'm with you. I think I like, in the body of the movie for it to be the more of the score and everything, and then I'm fine with it being in the credits.
Yeah, me too. And by the way, Nina Bergman, who plays Grendel in the film, she has a small role. She's one of the singers in that song as well.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's the Queen of the Thieves Guild or whatever. Yeah. Guys and gals, I mean, I know this is kind of a short episode. It's because we really want to keep it spoiler free. I could talk a whole other 30 minutes if we want to talk about the ending, but we're not going to. I just want everybody to see it. Again, this was not a paid advertisement at all. This was Zach and I truly, genuinely being excited to talk about this movie for months now. It's been literally building up inside of us for months. We talk about it offline, like all the time with our buddy Lee and everything. We literally talk about this movie all the fucking time.
Yeah, I was texting Corey, like, I think when it first came out and I saw it in October, I'm like, wait till you see this. You're going to love it. He's not listed in the credits, by the way, but Prince Baldur's assistant,
the old man.
Yeah, the old man is again another like kind of diamond in the rough character.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
You're like, this guy is awesome. And
there's no bad performance in this entire film.
No, and I will say, as far as costume design is concerned, the Prince Baldur's like army that wears the armor, that looks really cool.
Yeah,
it's obviously a nod to a weapon at the end of the film. I won't spoil that.
Yeah.
But also to like Deathstalker's outfit is really great. While like at one point Bodhi's like, is he wearing spandex? I go, yeah, they had spandex. In this dimension, they have spandex. It's all good. Like it all fits. It's also proof that you can make a compelling, satisfying, entertaining film without having to, spend $100 million on it.
Right. And like, I mean, I think probably some of the most impressive besides the Dreadites was probably the swamp monsters and everything. They were super impressive looking. And I just loved every scene. I loved every new area. It reminds me of those old movies like Seven Voyages of Sinbad, where like it's a point A to point B film, but like every time you go into a new area, it feels different. It feels like you're in this like a whole new stage. It feels like a video game. You go there, you fight some people. With Seven Voyages of Sinbad, you'd always have like another member of the crew would die off. That doesn't really happen here, but like you're always interested because everything is different. Everything it still feels connected, but all the areas are different. And like, I do love how a lot of the stages, like the swamp and stuff, you can tell it's like a stage, and I love that shit. Kind of reminds me of like old Hammer films and stuff like that. Like, I love it when outdoor sets are actually indoor stages. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it does look, I agree with you, had that Hammer vibe to it.
Yeah. Anything from your notes that you want to mention, before we wrap things up?
I mean, I think I blew my blew my load talking about it as it is.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't been this excited about a movie in a long time.
No, so
Especially a new movie.
right, because I mean we've been doing this for like 7 years now, so
Almost
we've
8.
covered a lot. Yeah, we've covered a lot of movies in that time, and not many newish films. And when we do cover a new film, we're usually pretty excited about it, but this one takes the cake. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the last time we were excited about a movie like this probably was Psycho Gorman.
Psycho Gorman, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, guys and gals. Yeah, my final thoughts on this, it's everything that I want it to be.
Then you got to sing it. It's everything you want.
Wasn't even trying to do that. God damn it. It just got into my brain. Deathstalker. It's everything I wanted from this film. Sans, I could have just one boob, man. Just one not monster boob.
Nah, that's the area where I'll disagree with you.
The thing is, I think you're correct. I don't think I'm right in this scenario, but
you're
it's
just a pervert.
It's just I'm pervert. Sleazy. But I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad it's not rapey like the first movie was. And second movie had a smidge of that, but it wasn't as bad as the first movie. Yeah, this is the best Deathstalker, hands down. This is the best version of Deathstalker. Daniel Bernhardt is the best version of the character Deathstalker. And this is the best world. Like, this is the most fleshed out and realized Deathstalker world of the first two movies that I've seen. I haven't seen part 3 or part 4. I don't know if I will at this point, because I don't think Terlesky's going to play Deathstalker again. So I kind of lost interest there. So I think I'll just keep it like this. But especially since Shout Factory isn't putting out a Blu-ray or anything of parts 3 and 4, I think that might say something, you know?
That might, but they might filter down the road. Who knows?
Interesting.
I will say it's so refreshing to see someone like Daniel Bernhardt as Deathstalker, as an action hero, where his scenes aren't sped up or cut with a stunt double. Not to say that that's a bad thing. I'm not knocking that. It's just refreshing to see a guy doing everything and looking really good while he's doing it. But you know what I mean? Like, not, I love Blade 2, but then there's those scenes in Blade 2 where they're like little CGI miniature guys up in the sky fighting each other. And it's like,
yeah.
I think at the time I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I look back on it now, I'm like, oh, this kind of takes me out of the movie. Like, I was never taken out of the movie during the action scenes. And sometimes action scenes can do that because it's so just like over the top, too much.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. So, guys and gals, this is on Shudder. So if you have Shudder, check it out. You can also pick up the Blu-ray, and like Zach mentioned, I think there's going to be a 3-pack steel case, 4K coming out that's got the originals plus this one. So you can find it. You can find this movie right now. Watch it ASAP. Watch it.
It's everything you want. It's everything you need. We are. Remember that? That was their other song they did. It was in that Titan AE trailer. We are.
Oh, Titan AE. Wow, that's a movie I haven't thought about since 1999 or wherever the hell it came out.
I wanted to like it so much. And
Well, yeah, I think
it's
Ralph.
Not bad.
I think Ralph Bakshi directed it or something like that.
He did, or he did the some connection there.
Yeah, I think or Don Bluth or whatever. Like I remember the animation being good, but it just didn't stick with me at all though. Not like Cool World did, of course.
I don't know. All those movies of like they just kind of fell flat. Treasure Planet, it was like it was okay, but it's like it just was missing something.
Yeah.
Give me Deathstalker over. We are Titan AE.
Deathstalker.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hey Zach, what's going on Territory Marks this month?
Okay, so end of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. I don't know. Where are we? Who knows where we are? $2 late fee this month has been devoted to the movie Mystery Date, and with Ethan Hawke, a underrated 90s romantic comedy. And then over in Territory Marks, it's our season 4. We've been doing that for 4 seasons, Territory Marks. 4 years I've been doing the show with Paul, Nightboy. So we are blasting out season 4 with a brand new episode, a very underrated match from the mid 80s. Just have to stay tuned and check it out. It's a lot of fun. And I just interviewed the cast and crew of a live stage show here in Los Angeles called Teen Beat. It's 80s movies and 80s soundtracks. Sound familiar? Because that's what $2 late fee does. It's a live, like, immersive show. This is the same group that did a thing called like Tarantino Live, where they brought out some of the best scenes from the Tarantino movies and they recreated them like with a musical twist. And they do it at this theater in downtown in Inglewood near SoFi Stadium. Yeah, I interviewed them. It's jam-packed. There's a lot of stuff coming up. We just had dropped a Challenger Explosion episode from 80s Kids Unite. And my gosh, if you're not following, everything that Corey and I do on all our shows, right? Please do, because it's like oversaturation of nostalgic content, including Deathstalker.
Yeah, and Zach, we have something special planned for Alien Day this month on April 26th.
Right.
We're going to be dropping a cool video. We're going to have our buddy Richard Chavez and Carl Toop, who plays the Xenomorph and Aliens. And so, yeah, you'll check that out on both of our YouTube pages. It'd be a lot of fun. And if you swing on over on Podcast After Dark's Patreon, under the Auteur de Force tier, Zach and I have covered John Carpenter, every movie John Carpenter's ever made. We covered Don Coscarelli. We covered William Lustig. And now we literally just started Larry Cohen, and with his first film, Bone, I think it was 1972, I believe.
Yeah, two or three,
with Yaphet Kotto. And so we're going to go through Larry Cohen's entire filmography, every movie that he directs, not stuff that he produces or writes. It's all the director stuff. So we did that because there was a lot of connection with William Lustig, so it was a natural progression. But yeah, we're going to be doing looking at Larry Cohen for probably a better part of a year and a half, looking at his filmography. So it's going to be wild.
He's everything you want. He's everything you need. The stalker is inside of you. And wait, no, that doesn't.
All right, guys and gals, hope you enjoyed this wacky episode of Podcasting After Dark. And as always,
we'll catch you on the dark side.
Be sure to subscribe to Podcasting After Dark on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can support the show by joining our Patreon page, picking up a t-shirt from our merch store, or leaving us a 5-star review. Follow us on Instagram at Podcasting After Dark. All links can be found on our website at www.podcastingafterdark.com. And join us next time for another cult movie or TV show review with Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim.
And I'm Dean.
And we're the hosts of Talking Back. We're a retro-based podcast covering movies, comics, video games, and more.
Check us out every Monday where we hit the rewind button and dig into some of our favorite content from the past. We like to keep things fun, lighthearted, and informative.
Do you feel like you need more nostalgia in your life? Then check out Talking Back. We're available everywhere podcasts are found.